Alrighty, friends. Hi, hey, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day you are deciding to watch this video. So I wanted to just make a quick video to show us how to collect the data from Weather Underground and copy and paste it into our spreadsheets. We should have done this in class, but just in case you weren't around, or if your machine was acting a little bit wonky, or your machine was dead, or whatever it may have been, and you just need a refresher on exactly how to transfer the data and from which website, and just to get all that clarification. So hopefully we find this helpful. Okay, so we are going to start in our Canvas page and in the projects part, right? So you scroll, so you should be able to scroll all the way down just past all of our units information. So there's lots of information here, lots of links. So the main description details are here, which we went over when we were doing when I introduced the project. Then there's Weather Underground for the daily historical data points. And this is the one that you're going to use for your copying and pasting. And what I also have up here is my spreadsheet where I have the first month already in my spreadsheet. So for this particular semester, we are starting with August. So I have August already in here, but I need to fill in everything else for September on into February for this semester. If you're working on a different semester, just recall from the project description which months we are going to be recording. So I'm going to go to Weather Underground and have it open in another tab. And this is where you will put the location that you are choosing, which just remember, it's not in anywhere in California. In this case, I'm doing Bozeman, Montana. And then just start with March. No, okay, there we go. I'm like, good. West Palm is for the other class. And then first thing you're going to do is go to monthly. And since I already have August, I'm going to do my next month as September and 2023 in this case, right? So just pay attention to the year. And then you have to click view. So a big thing to remember is after you change the month, you have to click view. Because if you don't click view, then it's not going to update, and then you're just going to do 6 months of the same month over and over again. So you can see the information here, but if you scroll all the way down the page is where you'll find the information that we're going to then copy and paste. So the way this is set up here, for the most part, is how we have our spreadsheet set up, which is on purpose. But unfortunately, we can't just copy the average column. We have to copy the whole thing over. So it's a little bit cumbersome of a process, but it's not too difficult. It's just cumbersome or time consuming. So I've selected the whole temperature column, both the max and the average and the min values, because that's what we have to do. But notice how I did not also highlight the words max, average, and min because it messes with the software. So for me, I'm going to do Command C to copy. Your machine may be Control C to copy, so just be sure to pay attention to that. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and where I want to paste, I don't want to paste it right over where I'm putting all that information, mostly because we're going to be like cutting the average and putting it in the right place. So I've pasted my information. So Command V for my machine to paste. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick the middle column here because we just want the average. We don't want the high and the low. We just want the average. So I'm selecting this column. And notice how I'm highlighting it, like I'm going to the middle of the cell and holding and dragging, clicking, holding and dragging, and going all the way down. I'm not doing bottom right corner where it's the blue circle and my cursor turns into the plus sign and clicking and holding down, because that just copies that same value throughout the column. So you don't want to do that. You just want to highlight the information. And I found the easiest way to transfer this information over to the right column is to Command X to cut, and then Command V to paste. And then we're going to do that same thing for dew point. So I'm just going to copy the dew point column, Command C to copy, go back to my spreadsheet, and then just paste it somewhere over off to the side. You can completely override what was already there. It's no big deal. Selecting the middle column, Command X to cut, Command V to paste. Same thing with relative humidity. So it's the same process over and over, right? So again, it's not difficult, it's just cumbersome. And I guess I suppose I should say that the difficulty of the copying and pasting over will depend on your trackpad. If you're using a trackpad, because some of our trackpads act a little bit wonky, or some of our machines may be a little bit old or what have you, so they just act or run a little bit slower. So the nice thing, once we finally get over to precipitation, you just can copy and paste directly into that column. You don't have to like paste it off to the side or anything like that. So in another lab, I have already showed us how to make this beautiful graph, and I think this beautiful graph as well, though this one needs a better title. So as I'm filling in the information from Weather Underground, it's automatically filling it in here in the graph. So that's kind of a nice thing and why I wanted us to set up the graph together if you were present and able to do so. And then I have separate videos for how to set up your climate tables, so be sure to check those out as needed. And then for just the climate variables, just a reminder that you're going to be using for that, if we go back to the modules in the projects module, that's where you're going to be using the weather-based information, which is a completely different website, right? So that's for the monthly climate values for your location. And there are just a couple of like the other videos here that are linked. So you may use those, of course, at your disposal. So I hope that this was helpful. Please reach out if you have any other questions or need anything else clarified. It's easier for me to help some of us if I'm like seeing what's going on. So either in class or we can do a Zoom or office hours, whatever. That way I can like visually see and help us as needed. All right. Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy.